Hello there, I am Nicola Marsh, Vice Principal, standing in for Miss Seymour this week on your weekly vlog. We're going to keep to the same format, so 3 things as always. Firstly, we want to talk about independent practice. Secondly, we want to talk about wider curriculum. And then thirdly, I have got Mr. Tunde Jones here to speak to you about Black History Month. So we are here at the moment in a History A-level lesson where the students are beautifully working independently behind us. We've done an awful lot of work in school on really building young people's independent learning skills in the classroom. And what that means is that once they have had something taught to them, it's the time that they're able to actually apply that learning independently by themselves, which are really important skills to have. But that doesn't just stop in the classroom. There's lots of things that you can do in order to support them at home as well. So we have things like Bedrock, which is our literacy program, where they can log in and really work on their vocabulary skills. I was talking to Miss Ahmed, our fantastic head of maths, and she was so impressed with the way that all the young people across the year groups have been engaging with Maths Watch, which is our online program that we have supporting students with their numeracy skills across the school. You can log on to our e-library. On our website, you will find all of our recommended reading lists for each of the different curriculum areas, and all of those books are available for them on the e-library. So there's lots of things you can do at home in order to support us with the work that we are doing on independent practice. Secondly, hopefully your students have been coming home and speaking to you about how fantastic Tuesday Enrichment has been. The feedback we've got from students has been incredibly positive, and they've engaged in all kinds of different things as they've selected over the last few weeks. Now that doesn't just stop on Tuesday Enrichment. Last week in Assembly they were spoken to about all the different clubs that are running before school, after school, at lunchtime, that are open for them, and we have a whole suite of trips that are also organised, the first of which went out last week to the theatre. The drama department took a trip out, but it's so important that the young people don't just obviously access the curriculum in the classroom, but they also get to bring that curriculum to life by engaging with all of these wider curriculum opportunities that we have for them. Finally, it is October, which very importantly means that we mark Black History Month, and we've got an awful lot of things planned, haven't we, Miss?
We do. Thank you, Miss Marsh. So, just as we just told you, Black History Month happens every year in October, and it's a time in the UK for us to celebrate the work, the experiences of Black individuals throughout history. We have been speaking to young people in Assembly about all the work of Black individuals, and we've been focusing on the key theme for this year, which is this idea of reclaiming narratives. So we've been exploring this idea of reclaiming narratives through 3 main areas. So this idea of honouring our heroes. When we're talking to these young people about honouring our heroes, we're talking to them about looking at different individuals, which they have been doing in form time, reading articles about these individuals, and thinking about what contributions they've made to British society. On top of that, we've been looking at this idea of embracing our stories. And you'll notice that I've mentioned this idea of our, because we want these young people to feel like they can relate to these Black individuals because it is our history. We've been talking to them about how Black British history is British history, and that is what we have been discussing. So this idea of embracing our stories, we want to introduce our young people and expose them to as many different stories as possible. And then finally, arguably the most important, is this idea of empowering and educating. And I feel like we've been really pushing for that in form time with our young individuals, looking at lots of different stories and hopefully having those meaningful discussions. So hopefully when they also do come home, you can ask them about who they've learned about and what they have been looking at whilst they've been informed.
Brilliant, thank you, Miss. So that's everything from us this week. Have a great weekend, everybody.